In your professional career, a time will come when you have to deliver a business presentation. You may have to present to your colleagues, senior management in your company, or even a venture capitalist. Say the day has arrived. You are now tasked with creating a presentation for your C-level executives. This is your chance to rise and shine and make a big impact in your company. However, if you do not create a powerful presentation, you will end up wasting the time of your key executives and, most importantly, end up ruining your own credibility. Senior executives are one of the toughest crowds you will ever face as a presenter. They are incredibly impatient because their schedules are jam-packed and they have to make lots of high-stakes decisions, often with little time to weigh on all the options. So they won't sit still for a long presentation with a big reveal at the end. They will just interrupt you before you finish your long story, and it can be frustrating. You probably have a lot to say to them, and this might be your only shot to say it. But if you want them to hear you at all, get to what they care about right away so that they can make their decisions more efficiently. Having presented to top executives in my own 20 years of management experience, I have learned the hard way that if you beat around the bush in front of them, you will get a look that says, "Are you kidding me? You really think that I have the time to care about all of that?" So think clearly and clearly present the information that's important to them and ask for questions and then be completed with your presentation. So in this video today, I will talk about for you to learn how to create executive presentations and executive briefings to communicate effectively with and to senior executives. So instead of dancing around the bush, you will learn the structure and template to structure your presentation for maximum impact and influence. And as a result, you will not appear talking in a confused manner, you will not stumble, and you will sound great and create a great impression, which will play a critical role in advancing your career or your professional goal. So make sure to see the video till the end and to get the maximum benefit out of it. Take a moment now to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can continue to access content that can help you grow, succeed, and we can help you deliver solutions for your business and career issues. Thanks. So let's begin. Executive presentations can be the hardest nut to crack, yet they will have the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to your career advancement. Master the executive presentation and you will get the visibility and recognition to drive your career upward. The alternative is to fumble and ramble through and get labeled as not for leadership material. It's unfortunate because being smart, analytical, detail-oriented will work against you when developing your executive brief unless you follow a disciplined approach to clarify and broaden your message. So what exactly is an executive presentation? It's a brief update or a proposal you deliver to the executives in your organization. You either do an update on a project that you worked, or you are working on some project, or you make a proposal for something new. An executive presentation is also called as an executive brief sometimes. It's called a brief because executives live in a no time, no patience dimension and will not tolerate you wasting their time. I know that you might be thinking, but you are busy too, and summarizing your message to the essence is hard to do, and maybe unfair to expect it out of you. But that's the reality we live in. The senior executives hold the key to your promotion or growth at your workplace, and making their life easier by putting some thought into your presentation will make your career progress easier. To create excellent executive presentations, you need to understand the different executive thinking styles. Then you need to tailor your message to appeal to those thinking styles instead of your own. The first executive thinking style is called why. Why thinking style, and these are the executives who care mostly about why we are doing things and why now. These executives tend to be in sales, marketing, and a lot of times they are the CEOs. The second executive thinking style is called the what thinking style. These are the ones that care mostly about answering what-based questions like what is the background, what is the history, what is the science behind that. These executives tend to be in engineering and technology, like the CTO of companies or the VP of engineering. The third one is the how thinking style. And they tend to think by asking how based questions like how do we get it done and how do we go forward, how do we get over this obstacle. The COO or the VP of project management would have this kind of style. The fourth one is the what if style. This is a funny group because they have a lot to hear on the what if situations, and sometimes those may be what if negative or what if positive outcomes. The what if positive thinkers are the entrepreneurial executives like the CEO and the co-founders of a startup. The what if negative are the executives that usually focus on what could go wrong, like legal, CFO, and the VP of quality. Note that there is nothing wrong with being what if negative. In fact, this type of thinking is essential for strong and sustainable organizations. If you want to create an executive presentation, the safest route is to assume that all these thinking styles are present in the room and create a presentation that has addressed all these learning styles. If you do not consider all these thinking styles, then you will create a presentation based on your thinking as a default, and as a result, you may resonate with only people who think like you and you will miss the rest. When you are communicating with your peers, communication based on your learning style is okay because your peers will probably think more like you. However, as you go higher in your organization, your message must have a broader appeal. Being able to communicate in all different styles will allow you to reach more people and influence more executives with your message. Now that you know the basics, all you have to do is create a presentation keeping in mind the audience based on all the above styles that we have discussed. Now let me give you a guide to develop your executive brief. The very first thing to answer is, why are you there? You have to be explicit in front of the executives. You can't be vague or looking confused. You got to be upfront with them. Why are you there presenting to them? Some examples of good answers are as follows. I am here today to give you an update on Project X. Or, I am here to propose a new way of doing business. The next step is to answer, why does it matter? Why is it what you are saying important now? When executives are making a decision, they are always trying to assess the importance of what you are talking about. You tell them the importance of your idea, proposal, update, etc. to make sure they don't check out trying to figure it out on their own. It's amazing how many executives vote themselves out during a technical project update simply because they have no idea why the project is important anyway. So you got to tell them why it is important for your presentation. And next in sequence, what is the background? Let's say you see 10 different project updates in a single day. It is very obvious that after a week, all these projects start to blur in your mind. And that's what happens to executives unless the project is one of their pet projects, that is a project they are directly involved in. Most likely they will forget about your project unless you remind them and give them the context by giving some background on what you are doing. It is easy to overdo this step, so be careful and just give some background to establish common ground, but not so much so as to bore and distract the executives with the very minute details. Next, talk about what is the update or what is a proposal. Now this is the part where you get to the core of your topic. Everything you said before this step was a ramp up or preparation to get to this step. I know what you might be thinking. Don't the executives want this part only? No, they also want the context and the importance of the update. Otherwise, they will be confused. And after that, it is time to tell them how to move forward. This is where you tell the executives the next steps. Again, don't get into too much of detail. Just talk about the next steps in big blocks. You don't need to tell them the timeline by minute. You just need to explain the next steps from a broader perspective. Instead of saying today we will do X, tomorrow we will do Y, and so on, say we are working on getting manufacturing approval by the end of this month, we will roll out the change in the new product by the end of the quarter, and if everything moves well, we will launch with full force in say Q3 this year. Just logical and zoomed out perspective. Next, let's discuss the what ifs. Remember, the what if negative people are the ones who will point out what's wrong with you in your presentation. Ideally, you want to handle these people and their objections offline by asking for their support. However, that might not always happen, so what you want to do here is bring up objections, alternatives, and quickly deal with them. Why bring the what if negative? There are two reasons you bring this up first rather than wait for someone to bring it up for you. One, it shows that you have balanced and rational view, and it shows that you have considered alternatives, what could go wrong, and have already planned for it. And two, it allows you to bring up the objections first and deal with them before others do. This allows you to handle objections without having the other's ego attached to it. The executives are human beings too, so naturally they have big goals, big dreams, and big ideas too. These thoughts usually manifest themselves in big company initiatives or executive pet projects. And the pet projects tend to occupy a lot of the executive's mind, and naturally they care more about these pet projects than your project. So in the what if positive section of your executive brief, you want to tie your ideas to one of the pet projects or big company initiatives if you can do so. For example, if you know that there is a big business initiative to improve diversity in your organization and your proposal is related to the new intern rotation program, for example, then at the end, link your project to that big company initiative for diversity. With both the what if negative and the what if positive, you don't want to overdo things. Use both strategically in the right meeting and for the right projects. You can very well notice and appreciate all of what we discussed till now. And all of this addresses the different executive thinking styles. Answering these questions will make sure that you appeal to all of the executives in the room and demonstrate that you can communicate to a broader audience. Most of the time, answering these questions will be your whole executive presentation. All the best for your next presentation. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done already. We post everyday content to help you grow and succeed. Thanks for watching.